My colleagues ask you about habeas corpus, and you say, literally, we can review the tape, that you believe it's a right the president has. Mm-hmm. You sat here in front of all of us and swore an oath to the Constitution, and that is not at all what habeas corpus is. It is a right that we all get, that American citizens get, that people who are in the United States legally have. So my concern is it's complete overreach. I don't think American citizens, even those who voted for Trump, believe that you should be able to just grab someone off the street, sloppy, who has the legal right to be here, and certainly an American citizen. And I just am concerned that while you say you're going after the most dangerous folks, what you're actually doing is going after folks for political reasons.
Slotkin, a former CIA officer, asked directly, have any American citizens, including children with cancer, been deported on your watch? Noem tried to avoid the question, but Slotkin had the proof this is not just overreach. It is a betrayal of the Constitution. If you believe in civil rights, due process, and real national security, not political theater hit, subscribe now and let us get into it.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for being here. You know, Michigan's a border state, so we need each other. Mm-hmm. We have a very big bridge that's being inaugurated, ribbon cut in September. We need that to be fully staffed. We have a lot going on in Michigan as a northern border state, so we need each other. But what I'm concerned about is that you've taken the mandate to close off the border beyond going after, as you say, the, quote, most dangerous illegal immigrants. I'm a CIA officer. I worked my entire life to protect the homeland. If someone's here illegally, they need to not be here. They've committed a crime by being here. They need to go back to wherever they're from. But my concern is that either through sloppiness or intent, you have gone far beyond going after the, quote, most dangerous illegal immigrants and gone into legal immigrants who were given the ability to be here, and even American citizens. And when I think about that, you know, there are lots of people in this country, including me, who have families who fled this kind of environment where they have no rights, where they have no due process, where they don't have habeas corpus. So while I'll be the first to say, coming from a state that was won by Trump, that there is a mandate to do something about the border, I think it is absolute dangerous overreach to go beyond that and start picking up American citizens and people who have the legal right to be here, lawful immigrants who have done everything right. So first and foremost, do you acknowledge that your department has made some mistakes, any mistakes, in going after either American citizens or legal immigrants here in the time that you've been in office?
We have not deported any U.S. citizens.
Detained?
Or people get interviewed. If they get interviewed and they go through that process and if we find that they're U.S. citizens or legal immigrants, they stay in the United States.
Have you deported
we have to go through the vetting process.
Have any American citizens, including children, been deported during your time in office?
We have children that mothers have chosen to keep with them. So those
by my count, you have 10 American citizens, including children with cancer, who have been deported out of the country. I understand you're saying it's their choice.
But the mothers,
it's hard to imagine a small child having a choice. But have you gone after legal immigrants? Again, your standard in your opening statement was the most dangerous illegal immigrants. Does that include PhD students and master's students at colleges across the country, unarmed? Are they the most dangerous illegal when they have status and no weapons?
I don't decide who gets status through a student program. The Department of State decides that, and we enforce it.
Oh, come on.
That's what our Department of Homeland Security does.
I just would offer that, again, I have no qualms with going after folks who are here illegally. That is not my concern. That was part of my job, was to prevent people from coming here illegally in a former life. My concern is you're sending a chill down the spine of America by going after people who either have legal status or American citizens. And when my colleagues ask you about habeas corpus, and you say, literally, we can review the tape, that you believe it's a right the president has, you sat here in front of all of us and swore an oath to the Constitution, and that is not at all what habeas corpus is. It is a right that we all get, that American citizens get, that people who are in the United States legally have. So my concern is, it's complete overreach. I don't think American citizens, even those who voted for Trump, believe that you should be able to just grab someone off the street, sloppy, who has the legal right to be here, and certainly an American citizen. And I just am concerned that while you say you're going after the most dangerous folks, what you're actually doing is going after folks for political reasons, right? A PhD student that's
We are
unarmed
absolutely
is
not
not
doing
at
that.
the top
And we're not
of the list.
deporting U.S. citizens, and we're not deporting
Well, 10
people
of them
who
have
have
been
legal
deported.
status here.
10 American
if
citizens
the children
have been
gone
deported.
with their parents, it's because their
let me
parents
ask you
wanted
another
them with
question
them.
about cybersecurity. You know, you've cut $500 million from the budget. What specific programs are you cutting? Because there are programs that really aid states and locals that we depend on for cybersecurity. And we know that right now, while we may have good security in the federal government, if you are a local state official, you're depending on the federal government. So have you cut the ISAC program, the program to states and locals on cybersecurity?
The president's recommended budget has a reduction in $491
Does it cut
million.
that program? I've heard the
and what
talking
it's doing
point.
is
Does it
putting
cut the
CISA
program?
back on mission.
And
it's
you can't say
ensuring
that this is the most
cybersecurity is going to be
cybersecure.
strengthened.
You cannot say it's the most cybersecure administration if you're cutting the program to my state and to your state.
It will
and if you
be
look
when
on
we-
record, that's what you've cut. I yield back.
Time has expired. Senator Hawley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Noem, good to see you.
Senator Slotkin opened with a clear warning: Michigan is a border state, and yes, immigration enforcement matters, but what DHS is doing now is not about stopping dangerous criminals. It is about detaining legal immigrants and even deporting U.S. citizens. Slotkin asked directly, have any American citizens been deported? Noem said no, then admitted that 10 U.S. citizens, including children, were removed because their parents chose to take them. Slotkin called it what it is: a disgrace no child with cancer makes that choice. That is not security. It is cruelty. She pressed harder. Why is DHS targeting PhD students and legal residents with no criminal record? Noem responded, we enforce what the state tells us. But Slotkin pushed back. She reminded Noem, and the country that habeas corpus is not a presidential privilege, it is a constitutional right. DHS has no business acting like it is above the land. While all of this is happening, while citizens are being swept up in the chaos, DHS is quietly cutting nearly $500 million from cybersecurity programs, including those that help local governments defend against cyber threats. Slotkin asked, did you cut programs like ISAC that help states protect themselves? Noem avoided the question. But the numbers speak for themselves. Programs are being slashed. Critical protections are vanishing, and Noem had no explanation. Senator Slotkin exposed what happens when DHS trades law enforcement for political theater, targeting citizens, ignoring the Constitution, and gutting cyber defenses. This is not border security, it is dangerous overreach. And if we do not call it out, it only gets worse. Subscribe to The Liberal Lens for more bold and honest breakdowns that cut through the noise. Join us on Patreon to support fearless, independent coverage and get exclusive behind-the-scenes content you will not find anywhere else. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay informed, and as always, stay liberal.